Back to your daily dose. My name is Robert, here with my friend Doug King from the Dave Parker Foundation, talking about the cinema therapy program coming up in our partnership with David Mickey Evans of The Sandlot. This is a great way for people to get involved. If you from the outside want to donate, you can do that to help give scholarships to the students that'll be coming in. You can also auction items that'll be going up soon. There's some great signed items from David Mickey Evans and The Sandlot, and we'll be getting more as we grow. The effect of Dave, you mentioned his other teams. It's, he did have actually some good numbers in Cincinnati as well. You're right. The bigger splash was Pittsburgh because it was so unexpected. But here I am, got my A's at Oakland A's, by the way. I don't want to hear this garbage about athletics or Sacramento or I don't want to hear that.
Oakland don't you live in Las Vegas, or did you move back?
I did. I'm in the Bay now because of taking care of mom and dad, right? We got here about 3.5 years ago. And look, I love Las Vegas. I lived there for 20 years, no problem. But here's my side quickie on that. They shouldn't be getting the A's. They should get an expansion team. The A's belong in Oakland. So anyway, there's that. Dave had, I believe, a 2-year stint here, and it was the beginning of an incredible run in Oakland. And what I loved in the interviews, I don't know if you've seen, I did with Dave back in 2018. He was great. He loved talking about that. And Kelly was great talking about it, saying how good the Oakland fans were to them, how much they loved being out here. We love Dave. God, was he a timely vet on a young Mark McGuire, young Jose Canseco team, right? That needed some glue. He was that guy, and he was awesome as a DH and occasional first baseman. He wasn't somebody just hanging on. No, dude had game.
Yeah.
And did you follow his career at that point, or
a little bit, but not. I've never been a baseball fan that has to watch the games, and to me, baseball is about the experience, the aura, the history. I enjoy all those things. Do I go to games? Yes, I go to games. I went to a high school game on Wednesday night to watch my son's grandson pitch. But it's not so much following the Reds or following the A's or But anyway, that's just me. But he in the last year, we have heard from so many guys: Sheffield, Vaughn, Larkin, Eric Davis. They just come out of the woodwork talking about the effect he had on locker rooms and how important he was, and how instrumental, and how he taught those guys and taught them how to be baseball players and taught them how to be major leaguers and how to be adults. It's just incredible. It's incredible, his effect on those people. And going back to our last conversation about legends, that's what creates the legends right there,
Well, and legends, the hero's journey demands there be a struggle. Dave had struggles, personal struggles, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing was, what he did is, as per the title of my book, he accepted it. He said, yeah, I've got a problem. And he dealt and continues to deal with, right? As opposed to trying to blame others or shell it off or, muscle through it. No, this is a problem. This is taking me away from who I am. And he moved forward with that. And that's part of being a great accountable leader, I think.
Exactly. The foreword to his book, remember, when he's going into court, and he said he should be there for Pete. He knew that what he had done was not right, and he ought to be in Cincinnati rooting for Pete. And it's some great introspection there.
Yeah. And that is, the thing for all of us as human beings, that nobody is flawless, even up on a pedestal. Human beings,
absolutely.
Every single one of us has our stuff.
Just watch our political leaders.
Oh, good Lord. Don't make me. But the idea, I think, being, and I forget, I'm not getting the quote, I'm paraphrasing, but none of us are as bad as our worst day, right? You see people sometimes, whatever it is, going through what they're going through. And to me, if they own it and move on it, more than grace, we say, God love you. Now you're a leader because you're taking those things and making others better,
Good point.
So I mean, that is another part of Dave's legendary status to me that I think really deserves credit. And you're right, the effect on the locker room, it was massively felt here in Oakland, and just can't say enough great things about him as a man, as a player, and as a legend that I'm just so glad to be partnering with you guys for.
You know, even it comes through even in the even when we're doing our educational events for our folks here in town. People come, they want to shake his hand. He's in a using a walker or in a wheelchair. He's not getting up and showing them how to swing a bat. You know, he's just Dave. But his presence, and I think his presence sort of takes some of the fear of the whole diagnosis and what do I do now. Maybe it calms it a little bit. I've sort of noticed that with some people that, you know, Parker has it. A number of other legendary ball players have, and it seems more prevalent in baseball than most of the other sports that I've heard.
Yeah.
But and maybe it's too much time on the golf course. I don't know if you saw that report.
I do know that, yeah, the chemicals ending Parkinson's disease really has it. I'm with you. It's really sad. My dad's a big golfer too.
And there, you know, maybe that's where it came. But anyway, those people get a lot out of having him there, and whether he's speaking a lot and participating or just being there, it's important.
Yeah, yeah, he's important. Dave's important. You mentioned it's funny. I don't know how close you are to the Kirk Gibson Foundation, another of his time. Same thing. They're doing great work up there in Detroit. Hope to run a program with them. His son Cam is a huge fan of some of the stuff we're doing. So, I just whatever we can do to help build these communities, keep growing the legend. So that honestly, it's the same with my dad. I want his legend to live beyond him. I want to know who people know who Dan Cochran was. Just like even if people don't get to meet Dave in person, we've got to raise our voices on his behalf. Those of us who have been fortunate enough to meet him and be affected by him, to make sure that voice continues to grow.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Doug, for everything you do. We'll be talking soon. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me.
All right.